Hey, Royaire, what's up?
Good evening, Auntie Diva. How you doing?
How you doing? Listen, guys, we are streaming on both channels. We're here tonight to recap season 16 of RHOA, episode 11. And it said, let's be honest.
Let's tell the truth.
Oh, shoot.
Look,
And,
look, look.
mm,
Toya told the girls last season, and this applies to Atlanta. Let's
uh-oh.
practice truth.
Mm,
We got to practice telling the truth,
mm.
Porsha and Shamea.
Practice telling the truth.
We got to practice telling the truth, Ralph.
Oh, my God.
Mm.
They said practice the truth. Okay, so let's be honest is the name of the episode. And Shamea and Porsha got a fractured relationship, but we're going to get into it. Just a reminder, we are streaming on both of our channels. If you love us, you want to see us do more recaps of different shows, please support us. We need your support by hitting the like button. And if you're not subscribed to both of our channels, we need you to subscribe to both, okay? The truth will set you free. And that's why on this recap right here, we keep it 100. We tell the truth.
Yeah.
We don't lean towards favoring this one over that one. It is what it is, and what it is what it is. Oh my God. Stephanie said, are you going to cover Drew's dreadful interview? Oh my God.
Oh. Now she's still a liar.
Oh God. Well, come out the gate swinging.
Okay, knock us down, Stephanie M. Can we get in the door first?
Woo, child.
Just down in the doorway, Diva.
She busted down, honey. Child, she said it was dreadful.
Oh,
and she's still a liar. You know what, Stephanie
She
was
said
so.
It was dreadful. This is a complete.
Oh my God. You see these phones we listen to you all the time. I'm like,
Dwight, it was dreadful.
Okay, dreadful. Okay, listen. Let me say this. Me and Royaire was just talking about it. I have to go watch it, but I really have to go watch it now because you said it was dreadful. Good gosh almighty. Okay.
I mean, Stephanie, now listen, I don't know what you I watched it a little earlier. I caught a few glimpses of it, and so, maybe I was led astray. Maybe, I thought it was a great interview, and I was just telling Diva, I'm not a huge fan of Carlos King because he just sometimes the way he sets up scenes, I just feel like it's just too much. But what I will give to him, and he's a great interviewer. He knows how to ask the right questions, and he knows how to get the answers that we want and desire. Okay. And so I feel like that is what Drew did. She gave us her version of the story. Her version sounded very clear and precise according to what is going on from what we've seen this season so far. And so, Diva, I'll let you make your judgment. Maybe you can watch it and then we'll do a little recap of it, a little short video. Come on, even Alexa agrees with Drew.
Hilarious. But you know what? I love to laugh. So, that was my good laugh for tonight. Hopefully, I might have some more. But we might as well go ahead and kick this thing off. Let me turn to my notes too, right here. Kick this thing off. Let's get into it. You want to start us off?
I don't have no notes tonight, so you.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay. I got you. Wait. Hold on. I'm about to go back to mediation. Those notes. We can't.
Yeah.
I got to get to the right notes. Okay.
Good. Well, listen, people, we are live on both channels, as Diva said. Make sure you hit that share button as well. Let your friends and family know that we are live recapping episode 11 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section as we go through this, and we'll read along as we keep going. So,
all right. So we start off with Angela and Charles. They kind of, get together. They're having a lunch. Charles, would not answer because they had this little confessional thing too. And the people that we don't see, they was like, do you love Angela? And Charles pretty much wouldn't answer. I was like, what we doing here though? Now I'm feeling like this is What's that? Was that something on my side or your side?
It sounded like it was coming from your side, but it went away. So
okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That's crazy. The craziness is going on tonight. But anyway, they asked, Charles, does he love Angela? Angela was like, pretty much, you need to answer. And he didn't want. She said, because they thinking you don't love me. And Charles was just sitting there. I was feeling like it was giving me Britt and Mike. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Charles don't want to be on the show. Yeah, he don't. But you know what though? If this is your wife and it's an extra check and money in the household, then support her and get this check.
Look, she's $2 million in debt, so she need every check she can get.
That part. She need the money. She needs the money. Because honey, that house trying to sell for $3 million. I didn't see $3 million in that house. Not at all. So so then they was over, they had their lunch or whatever. Charles said that Angela talked about how with helping family. I will say this, it's always difficult when you have one person in a family that makes a whole lot of money and everybody want to lean on them. And Charles said, I've been through that. And now he said, I just walked the other way. Pretty much let them figure it out, because she was saying how she helped the mom, she helped the sister. Now the sister's not even speaking to her. And the sister must have gave her a cease and desist, because she can't even say that sister name on the TV. Every time she say the sister name,
bleep it out. I know, yeah.
Bleep it out. And then when she had a picture, and her sister must have been within the picture, but it was also her and her mother, they blurred the sister out.
Look, Dante did a Nene Leaks.
So listen, at the end of the day, that sister is not playing with her. Don't say my name, but don't let my name come out your mouth, okay? And so Charles said also that his family was like Medea's Tyler Perry whole situation before Tyler Perry even came out with all his shows. So the fan, because he said he used to take care of the people too, but he said they do too much. Then they depend on you. They don't want to work, and every time something happens, all they doing is dialing your number. And his team too much. So I mean, they went to lunch. It was a pretty good scene. She told him, everything that was kind of going on, with the girls too. I thought it was a cute scene between them, but I thought it was interesting in the confessional how Charles did not want to say, I love you. And then when they was at lunch, he asked him, she said, give me a kiss. He was like, for what? I feel like he's straight. Not only does he not want to be on the show, I feel like something else is going on.
This scene was very interesting to me. Shout out to one of the two married couples on the show. I believe that it's just Shamea and her husband, and Angela and her husband. Britt is married too. Yeah, okay, you're right. So yeah, but shout out to all the married couples on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I took Charles as, I just feel like Charles is not going to play himself up on this camera to be somebody that he is not. I feel like if you're coming to film a reality show, I'm going to be my true, authentic self. So this whole give me a kiss, bae, and all of this, tell me you love me, I don't feel like that's natural to their relationship and to their marriage based off of how Charles was acting. And it just seemed like Angela was trying to push for something that's not natural for them to normally do. So I just felt like he was just being himself, and Angela was just trying to play up a relationship that's really not there off camera, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she was trying to be this clingy wife that she is not naturally off camera. Like, be y'all, do you. Not every couple, is out to dinner kissing and smooching and doing the most, especially when you've been married for a couple of years. I really feel like that Charles is really authentic. That is what I got from this situation. And I feel like Angela is playing it up for the camera. Don't do that. Who you are off camera, be it on camera. And that's what translates better. That's why it looks the way it does, because she's trying to play this thing up for the cameras. Girl, stop. Talk to your man how you would talk to him regularly while y'all out having dinner. Y'all would probably be going back and forth about your mama and all y'all family drama like y'all was. Like, she was just doing too much for the camera. I thought Charles was being his authentic self and just being him. Charles is not going to be fake.
He can't answer the question whether he loved his wife or not.
He may not have loved her that day.
Yeah. Well,
I love your ass, okay?
there's that. Okay, I'm gonna keep it moving. Okay, so
But
Cynthia,
don't you see what I'm saying though? Like, can't you kind of tell that that's naturally him? Like, it's not like him to be doing all of this extraness for the camera. That's just not. I don't know. No, do you?
I'm feeling like he don't want to be there.
Okay.
And I'm feeling like that's a little problematic for me.
Okay.
And with all the things going on, I'm also feeling like at the end of the day, you can't just say you love your wife. You sitting there like, she like, answer babe. Answer babe. He like,
look, he said you got me $2 million in debt over these 5 houses that I told you not to buy in the first place, and your mama over here acted a darn fool with your sister and your daughter, and went off and got married. And like, Charles has had it up to here with Angela. Okay.
well, and he showed it. So I guess we'll move on to this Cynthia and Shamea scene, right? And so Shamea, they meet up, and Shamea said she didn't sleep last night because this is after the Porsha Pampered by Porsha party. And the whole breakdown between Shamea and Porsha happened at that event. So she said she didn't really sleep last night. And she said she feels bad that Shamea said she feels bad that her relationship with Porsha has come to the point that it has come to, right? And so they talked about, which I thought was interesting. Cynthia didn't say Nene's name, but you knew she meant Nene.
Yes, right.
She was saying how, she's been there, done that. Like, you feel like you're always supporting somebody, and then the little moment they have to support you, they don't. And she said, I've been there and I've been in that situation. It's not easy. I will tell you this. We said it last week. I'm loving the role and the way Cynthia is fitting in to this situation.
Yes.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's a mature way for her to fit in. She's not being messy. She's being authentic. And she's like, listen, I've been there, done that. She didn't start talking about Porsha badly. What I thought was interesting in that scene also is how they showed the flashbacks of everybody coming to Shamea, pretty much telling Shamea that Porsha is a bad friend. And Porsha was supporting, Shamea was supporting Porsha, like saying, I don't think it's that or whatever. But they took it back, whatever Shamea said, they took it back to Porsha as if Shamea was just, talking bad about Porsha. She did say Nene. I'm surprised they said her name on the show. No flashbacks though.
It was in the confessional. It was in the confessional where she said it, but in the moment she did not say it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, but I just thought, I'm just loving the way, I like this mature Cynthia. I like the way she's fitting in, and I like the way that Cynthia is not jealous. It's like, okay, whatever role I'm gonna play on RHOA, no matter what I was before, whatever check they're gonna give me, I'm gonna roll with it. And you know what? They might as well have gave her a peach because she in every darn scene.
Yeah.
In every scene.
Yeah, I think when it comes to, let me address Cynthia first. Cynthia is.
Let me add this way. I forgot in my notes here. Porsha mom and Shamea mom fell out.
Okay, so I thought that they had said that, but I was a little confused because, like I said, I didn't get to really, today. Yeah. But
then so it's interesting that Porsha mom and Shamea mom fell out, and then now Porsha and Shamea fell out. And when they asked Shamea in the confessional what happened, she was like, I ain't gonna
deal with that. Okay, I thought that I had heard that too, but I wasn't sure, so I wasn't gonna touch it. But since you said that, and that kind of brings us to the end of that episode too, or at the end of the episode when they met, she was talking about her mom called and made a face. So I'll address my thing right there. But with Cynthia, I feel that they have the show production, whomever has done an excellent job in presenting Cynthia in the friend role of this season. I think it has worked out so beautifully because Cynthia has been with us for 11 seasons, and she's so seasoned in doing this. It's giving a role model figure for everyone to follow, and that is just what I'm really enjoying. I'm loving how she's kind of tying the pieces together, what everything has kind of happened with all the girls, as we said yesterday. So excellent job, Cynthia. Like you said, she's not being messy. She's getting what happened. She's carrying the bone. tone as it should be carried in a gentle way, but still enough carrying to keep the show rolling, if you may. So shout out to Cynthia for that. I thought it was very comical how, Cynthia said she would love to have a friend like Shamea. And Shamea said, listen, I'm up on the chopping block, so if you want me, girl, you better grab me while I'm available, okay? Because the people say that Shamea is the best friend of Atlanta, okay? So who wouldn't want a friend like Shamea, okay? Shamea, I'll be a friend and I'll be good to you, boo, okay?
Shamea, okay?
But I also I think that Shamea is stuck in between a rock and a hard place, because I do feel, based off of some of the things that we have seen this season, some of the interviews that I have watched outside of the show, I do think that Shamea has said some things about her and Porsha's friendship that has bothered her to other people, and she has not specifically addressed those issues fully with Porsha. As she said, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, she chooses to lead in grace. She chooses to, allow grace to cover some of the things that happen to her. And sometimes when you allow grace to cover things, Auntie, sometimes we are not able to allow people to know what really hurt us and what really harms us. And it doesn't allow those wounds to heal. People say time heal all wounds. I do believe that time can heal wounds if you allow it. If we address the issue, if we talk about it and we move forward, you can heal from those wounds. And what they have to do is not just allow time to heal these wounds, but they really need to address the wounds that Shamea has with her friendship with Porsha, if she wants to continue to carry this friendship on in the direction that it has been in the past. Now, how she wants it to move forward, I'm not sure. We kind of will address that at the end of this episode, but I thought it was very interesting, that Shamea is not, in my opinion, willing to take full accountability that Porsha has not been the best of friend to her. You have to say that in order for it to be addressed and dealt with in the manner that it needs to be dealt with.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's sticky, right?
It is.
It's very, very sticky. And especially when you've had a friendship for that long of a span time, when you have a relationship based off of someone else's relationship, and then that relationship falls apart, it kind of, it messes with the roots of your relationship. Thank y'all so much. It messes with the roots of your relationship. And I think the parents falling out has kind of trickled down to the children now. And so now she's on TV and she doesn't feel Porsha fully supported her. And this is supposed to be your best friend, but she didn't show up for your wedding. So, this season she was 2 hours late for your birthday party. There have been so many major things that have happened in this friendship that Shamea, in my opinion, has brushed under the rug and given grace to move on. But now that we're here, all of these emotions and feelings are coming up, and you have the public giving their opinion on it too. So it's so much piled on top of this. It's a lot piled on top of this.
It's a lot. But the saddest part to me is, season after season, Shamea supported Porsha as a friend of.
Well,
Your girl has a second to shine here, a moment to shine, and you ain't got no love for her.
Well, when you don't want nobody else.
Now that's dreadful.
Yeah.
That's dreadful. No matter how you look at that, that's dreadful. Why would I be mad at my friend getting her check, getting her money, getting her payday, being able to have a platform to shine?
If you used to love your light shining so bright and somebody start outshining your light because yours is dimming, some people don't know how to take that. So
it's very sad. And the even sadder part is when they did the flashback of Shamea playing her song, and she said that ain't her. That's Drew.
That's just like them playing your intro song, Diva, and I'll be like, that ain't Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. What y'all talking about?
The shade. The shade. Come on now. That's your boo. That's your girlfriend. And she had to sit there. They was like, and when they were showing all the girls come to, they was like, your bestie don't know you sing. And she was like, she know I sang.
Like what? Yeah.
I thought that was shady. It was shade. It was. Straight up shade.
Shade. She said what she said. She meant what she meant. Her reaction was her reaction. And so, Shamea, you really have to talk about this stuff. It is hard. To me, Shamea does not seem like a girl of real confrontation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see she'll go back and forth with you in the little petty stuff, but like real stuff, I feel like she'd just rather move on. But when you have a relationship that is so intertwined the way hers and Shamea is, you got to have those tough conversations if you want to move forward in growing the relationship. You have to.
Yeah. It's painful because this was a friend. This wasn't no play.
Yeah, this is a childhood friend. Yeah. Most people can't say that, that they have a childhood friend. That's a lot,
And Miss Diane seemed like a piece of work. But anywho, we'll carry on.
We'll talk about her later.
Yeah, okay. So they did little pocket scenes. They did Britt and Mike about to go to a wedding. And I'm telling you, I'm feeling better about Mike. I think maybe in the initial stages, he wasn't used to the camera, but I think he got a little more comfortable because now when I see them in scenes, I see more chemistry. I see more, likeness, whether it's a friend likeness or a husband-wife likeness, it don't matter to me. At least I see more chemistry. Because initially I was like, whoa, this one right here, I don't know what I'm about to do with him. I'm about to go down to Atlanta and choke him. So Kelly, they show a pocket scene with Kelly, at the restaurant and talking about she's going to open another restaurant. I thought that was nice. They showed Shamea saying that she got to select her single. So they kind of showed her, doing a little studio thing. And then we see a scene with Porsha, Cynthia, and Angela, right? And go bowling, which I thought was pretty interesting. It was a nice little scene. And Angela must have asked 10 times. And I hear her shout out to Angela, I need the bumpers too. She must have asked like 10 times, can we put the bumpers up?
Porsha said, roll your big arms out there and bowl with us. I thought that was so funny.
Why do they rag on Angela like that? They really rag on her.
They lay her out.
I know she's tall, but is she that tall? They be coming at her neck. Okay,
they lay her out. Okay, every single time.
So they talked about they was they was bowling. It was a nice scene. They talked about how PJ is feeling, and now that Porsha was a stay-at-home mom for 24 months or however long she was married to Listen, she said, PJ ain't used to her going out the house. And now that she's back to working again, she's going out the house. PJ is wondering like what's going on or whatever the case may be. And, she just talked to the ladies like saying it's hard, right? And she said, and they talked a little bit about this to me, about the...
Not 24 months like it's a jail sentence. Oh my God.
Stephanie said when she was a stay-at-home mom, she was lying. Listen, I'm just trying to tell you. So she talked about how, divorce is hard, no matter, and listen, and I feel for Porsha because this is like her second time around with this divorce thing, right? But she said, it's hard enough going through a divorce with Simon. Now she got to divorce a friend. And she said she really doesn't want that. I think both of them are going through it, but something happened between the moms. Is Shamea mom single?
No.
She's married?
Her dad was on the first episode. Well, according to the first episode, mom and dad were there together. So unless they just have a good cordial relationship divorced, I was assuming that they're married. I was assuming.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what happened between Miss Diane and Shamea's mom.
Well, if Porsha is anything like Miss Diane, then we know exactly what happened.
Child. Listen. But
the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. But what do you think about that scene?
You know, cute little scene. Love, having Cynthia back again. I thought it was very interesting actually to see Porsha and Angela back filming together after such an explosive, comment about sleeping with my husband. That was very shocking to me. But if we can move on and grow from things, then hey, let's move forward. I thought, like I said, Porsha's comment was hilarious about Angela Boland. I I struggle because I just really feel like that Porsha is not taking accountability. Or let me not even say that. I don't feel like Porsha is willing to see what Shamea is saying, to give it life, to even try to see her side of the story. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
100%.
this is being 100%. And I understand that you're going through a divorce. I understand you got all this stuff going on. I understand you got to put yourself back to work. But Shamea told us in her confessionals, her and Gerald told her not to marry that man. Your friend warned you. She told you. We don't know if he would be the best thing for you. And I really think that's when Porsha and Shamea started having issues. I really, really do think that. When your best friend don't support the man that you got at the time, it causes problems. Mm-hmm. And so because she can't see those issues, I feel like Porsha is just living in her own little corner, in her own little world. She talked about Simon abandoning her and Pilar. I thought that was very, very sad. And I just feel like Porsha's trying to get her footing back into this world of trying to be a full-time mom, trying to work full-time, trying to keep up with this lifestyle that she has built around herself. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I feel like that, me personally, I just can't give Porsha the grace that people feel that she should have because of everything that we've been through with Porsha, in the past seasons. We've seen so much, we've heard so much, and it just seems like Porsha hasn't learned anything. Your best friend is on here, and you can't look at what she's saying. You're just so caught up in you. I don't know. I can't. But I love the way Cynthia is being supportive about it. I love the way Angela is saying, y'all need to have the conversation. At least they're trying to support the friendship. At least they're not trying to tear it apart. So I will give Cynthia and Angela that as well. They really want to see resolve in this. It just seems like Porsha's the only one that doesn't want to see that there is a problem and try to resolve it.
I agree with you. And that's what I like. I like, I'm going to stick on that for a minute. I like the fact that it's not, when these conversations come up, I haven't seen negativity from the others in the conversation. Mm-hmm. It's like positivity on trying to resolve it. So I am feeling that, and I am liking that. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. Now we'll roll into this next scene of Drew talking to her mom. Okay. Trying to get the lawyer, she was talking to the mom on the phone, so to speak, trying to get the lawyer to the lawyer. Let me back up. The law, she said the lawyer was Ralph's side is trying to get her lawyer removed from the case.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Recused. They call it recused, I want to say, right?
Yes.
And because Drew did do some slick stuff that along with the lawyer that shouldn't have been done. Once you file for a divorce, you can't make no moves. You can't go to the bank account and take out $150,000 and then put it in your account. You should have did that before you filed for divorce. You can't go and try to go behind the scenes and have, the house and change something with the house. You can't go and try to rewrite history once you file for divorce. So they had already both filed for divorce. Who filed first? I don't know. Who cares, right? They filed for divorce. And then at that point, Drew was trying to, do all of this behind the scenes. I'm going to say, for lack of a better word, it was shady stuff to protect herself, but she should have protected herself ahead of time. For your husband to own 40% of your LLC to begin with,
shame on you.
Shame on you. We got to say that. Shame on you. Ralph is also going after Drew's lawyer's license. That's messed up. But the woman did. The lawyer should have known better. It was some shady stuff. Yeah, okay, so yeah, wait, Lorraine saying Diva in that Royaire's world. Yes, they removed all the assets from the LLC and redirected the money. You can't do that.
Cannot.
You cannot do that. Thank you, Lorraine. You
Yeah.
cannot do that. That's what she did with her lawyer. And she sat in that car on the TV and said it. Shame on you for even saying that on the TV. You should have said that. I mean, just a big dummy. You should have said, I don't know what they talking about, Ma. They trying to say we did this, we did that, and the blah, blah, blah. But Ma, this is sad. That's what I would have said. This is sad, Ma.
Yeah.
Because it's my name and it's my LLC. But her lawyer tried to do some slick stuff. They got busted. And now Ralph is coming at her neck. But for Ralph to go and say, even with her future one that she created, that he still wants 40%, that's just wrong.
Low down, dirty individual.
Low down, dirty individual. You know what I sit down. Low down, dirty individual for sure. Okay. So Katrina said, I'm sorry, Shamea isn't innocent, not because I'm going up for Porsha. She's giving Monique Samuels. If we were friends, talk to me off the show. She tried to talk to off the show, Katrina, but Porsha want to play games. Porsha said she only gonna do this for the money, so Shamea had to get. Shamea want her. She like her. When she saw that first RHOA check, she said, "Oh, this is sweet. I could buy for Chanel, Gucci." So you know what? So she gonna do the most to keep her check too. You can't play it, Shamea. And then I add the mom and Angela conversation to this one too. So mom and Angela, you know, mom comes over to Angela's house, tell her pretty much, you know, I know what the mom really wants to say. You trying to run our life because you bought this house that I was living in, that was yours. So we out, deuces. We done went and got our own thing so you can have your house back. So now she was like, oh, I wish I would have known ahead of time. No, mom, deuce, done moved out the house because the daughter and all of those, y'all wasn't getting along and you thought you was going to run the house because you bought it. And they said, no, they out. So mom is out. Mom said, how old is Charles? Because mom said Charles and her about the same age.
I don't know. I did hear that though. I heard that they must be in the same year. I mean,
well, how old is Angela?
I thought Angela was in her late 40s.
She looks older, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah, no. So, Monique, who's 60? Monique, who's 60? Charles
is 61. Yes, thank you, Monique. So okay. How old is her mom? Her mom died?
No. Wait. Oh, yes. Remember Emmanuel told us a couple of weeks ago that her mom passed. Was it the mom or the sister? Somebody passed away in this family.
Charles, thank you, Monique. Charles is 61.
Yes.
Girl, that is legal. Did a whole breakdown on the unsealed divorce. Drew is doing shady stuff. Oh, she's saying that another YouTuber. Okay. Yeah, she is doing shady stuff.
The mom passed away. Yes, Diva. Remember, somebody was talking to us about that a couple weeks ago. We were talking about something. Yes, the mom did pass away. Okay.
Well, how old was her mom? Because her mom is saying she was only in her 60s then?
So maybe like 65, 67, maybe.
They saying both Britt and Angela lost family members.
Yes, Britt lost her aunt. Remember, her dad's brother passed away.
Yeah.
They were on their way to her and Kelly was on their way to some event, and she was telling Kelly that her aunt passed away.
That's right.
And then a couple weeks ago, there was something going on that we were talking about Angela's mom, and the mom passed away as well. At first, people were saying that the sister passed away, and then we got it clear that the mom passed away. I do remember that. Look at our people. Shout out to y'all. Y'all be helping us out. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, let me hold on.
Okay, Angela's 43. On Sunday, May 19th.
Oh, her mother must have had her in her 20s. Oh, that makes sense. And the mother had her. Am I doing the right thing there?
Juice says on May 19th, Angela revealed. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, okay. So, RHOA Angela Oakley shares heartwarming post following the sudden passing of her mother.
Okay.
She was on through me. Oh. I wonder what happened to Angela Oakley is receiving love from fellow Bravo stars following the sudden passing of her mother. On Sunday, May 19th, Angela revealed in an Instagram post that her mother had passed away. The reality star noted how thankful she was that her mom was able to make her TV debut on last night's episode, which was filmed over a year ago. And continue. She passed away Sunday. My world shattered in an instant. The pain, the loss, the heartbreak. Words can't even begin to describe it. The world would never get to witness her jovial spirit, her laughter, her love, and it hurts more than I could put into words. We miss her more than ever. I hope I made her proud. I know she's watching us. Mommy, I love you endlessly. You are my everything, my inspiration, my light, my forever. They say it gets easier. That's hard to believe. Oh, that's sad.
That is very sad. I'm not sure how she passed, but when I was looking at her on the screen today, when I was watching, and even in this picture, it looks like maybe she's had a stroke, maybe the way that her mouth is kind of set aside.
Yeah.
So something up that alley. We do remember she's sharing that her mom has some mental health issues. So maybe things happened that took their course, unfortunately. But R.I.P. to your mom, Angela, and our condolences. Our condolences.
I'm so sorry that happened, but yeah, so
R.I.P. at the end of the episode or anything like they would normally do in Bravo. You know, normally if somebody passed away, they'll say memory or something. But,
yeah. Okay. And Kiki, I do agree with you. She does look amazing. She looks amazing. I think it might be because of how she heavily puts this makeup on her face.
Yes.
Maybe that's what the issue is.
If you remember at the beginning.
She's got a nice body. She's in shape. But yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it just seemed like she beat that makeup on too heavy.
I think, at the beginning of the season, Angela shared with us that she's not used to wearing wigs and makeup and stuff. And so I think because she's new to it, she's just doing the most. And when you do the most, it adds age on, you know what I'm saying? That extra makeup, it just adds to your age, in my opinion, in certain circumstances. So yeah, I thought she was closer to her 50s. I definitely did.
I did too, Ocean Dreaming, but I'm thinking it's probably because she caking on that makeup too much. Yeah. Okay, so that's Angela and the mom. I don't want to even do too much there now that I know Mama's passed. May she rest in peace. And I thought it was cute. I add this scene too. Chloe and Kelly in that driving. Her daughter is freaking adorable.
She is beautiful.
She got a little mouth on her. It's like a little slick slide little thing.
Just like her mama.
Yeah, she got a little mouth on her like a mama, but I love Kelly. I love Kelly and the daughters. And I think the daughter is absolutely adorable. And yes, when you teaching your kid to drive, you want to die. I ended up calling the driving school. I told myself, I said I will pay.
You wouldn't teach the kid to drive, Diva. You could do it.
Just like her daughter, he was all close to the other car. I'm like, you killing me. And then you couldn't tell him nothing. You couldn't tell him nothing. He was like, Mom. I'm like, no, I'm going to have a heart attack in this car.
You were stressing the kid out, girl.
He was stressing me the heck out. So when her daughter was driving, I said, I know the feeling.
Yes.
So I came home that day, Royaire. I called the driving school, and I didn't care how much they was going to charge me. And I told them, and y'all could take it to the driving test.
Oh my God. Not my friend, not the kid. That's hilarious.
And they took him to his driving test and he passed the first time around.
Yes. Okay, we see you, friend.
And every time, and I was happy. I said, oh, the instructor's here. Child, I was ready to do overtime to get him extra lessons if he needed. $850. I said, come on, Monique, holla. No, it was stressed the heck out. Because he knew everything. And then he chilling. I'm like, dude, no, you need to put both hands on the wheel.
With the gangster lead, too.
You a new driver. You just got that little permit. The ink ain't even dry on this permit.
That's hilarious. Driving came so natural to me. I never took driving school. Only thing I did was our regular take the license test and your driving test, and that's it. I never took school or anything. It just came so easy to me, just very natural. Now, my mom tells me that I'm not a good driver, but I think I do a great job.
Y'all always do. Y'all always do. I was like, I'm like, you're gonna give me a straight heart attack. Then I was like, you're going too fast. You stopping too, like you stop on here. Like, last, I was like, I said, pull over right here. Pull over right here. He was so mad at me. He was so mad at me.
You leave the kid alone. You leave him alone.
He was mad, but I was like, no. I said, pull over. And I said, get out. I'm taking us home. But yeah, so I thought that was a cute scene.
That was.
Yeah. And then I don't want to squeeze in all the rest. So we'll stop there. You can talk about those scenes. So it's Drew talking to you on the phone. You got that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Drew. Are we? Is there another conversation with Drew and her mom?
Yeah, she and her mom at the house.
Yeah, so they were in the car talking on their phone. Okay, I got those two scenes confused. Yeah, once my kids start driving, I don't ride.
Child, listen, my car was at the dealership. He's like, Mom, you want me to pick you up? I said, nah, I'm staying there.
I'll wait.
2 hours and 30 minutes. Yes, I was. I was in the phone. I was playing solitaire. I was listening to YouTube.
That is hilarious.
Now, one time they said it was going to be too long. I let him come get me. No, the Uber brought me there, and then he brought me back.
Okay.
Now, I try to meditate when I'm in the passenger seat of his car.
Oh, that's hilarious. But yes,
I get on Catholic, like.
Look, might keep me near the cross. Kid, listen, I got you, kid. Don't worry, you good, friend. You good.
Okay,
but Drew and her mom, I feel like Drew is just so emotional that she is just word vomiting at this point when it comes to this divorce situation, because as you said, she did share a lot in that scene on camera, some things that should have been kept shut, when it comes to public and having things on records and things like that. Shout out to her mom being tech savvy. Listen, I love me a tech savvy senior citizen, okay? I love the seniors that know what they're doing. Know how to pick up the phone, not you on FaceTime talking like this. I need you to be on FaceTime like this.
I know how to pick up the phone. You do.
So shout out to the
oh my God,
seniors who know what they're doing, But yeah, I just think Drew is just she needs so much support. Mm-hmm. She's so hurt. She's so traumatized from this relationship, as she shared, or as Ralph shared with us, they met, had a kid, got married. I mean, they didn't even really get an opportunity to truly know each other. And so they're now really recognizing who each other married. And, it's just taking a toll on both of them. And so, unfortunately, Drew's mom is having to take the brunt of all this as well, because they do open up and say, that Drew's mom just recently lost her husband as well. So she's trying to, grieve her husband and help Drew. We're finding out that Drew's children are kind of, starting to react to the things that are going on in the home. So it's a lot going on for Drew. And she, that last court date just really took her out of character. And I think because she did not, get her way in that decision, that Drew has just snapped, if you may. She's really snapped. So, we'll address the rest of that conversation once we get to that scene. What else was we talking about? We talked about
Angela and her mom spoke.
Angela and her mom. I thought that was a really beautiful conversation. It was good. When Angela first was introduced to this season, she shared that her mom has mental health issues. So I wasn't really sure where her mom was stability wise, but it seems like mom has a good head on her shoulder. She had great things to say about Charles. Mom recognizes that she's made some mistakes in the past. She's willing to even write a letter, and let Charles know, I love you. I know we started off things rocky, but we can move forward in a positive direction and be a family. I think that is beautiful as well, that she wants to be independent and not want to depend on her daughter to, take care of her every being. Granted, most children want to take care of their parents, but Angela has a very unique situation from my understanding of what I've been told so far. Because her mom had mental health issues growing up, Angela said earlier in the season that she did a lot of taking care of her mother. And so that is the role that she's kind of played. And so I think mom feels that she's owed Angela that independence to let Angela be grown and do her own thing, and I'll take care of myself so that you don't have to worry about me. And she kind of said that in this scene as well today. I hope that her and her granddaughter were able to rectify their issues while she was still here on Earth, because it's nothing worse than still having issues with someone and they're no longer be here. So, especially when you have a grandmother-granddaughter connection. Those relationships are so important. I've been recently reading Miss Tina's book, Beyonce's mom, and she really kind of talks about how her mom don't do it. She talks about how her mom has passed on, their family history and knowing things and really helped her to be the woman that she is today. And so I feel like every person wants their grandparent to help them be better than who they were. So hopefully they were able to get that relationship together as well. But I thought that scene was very beautiful. Angela looks just like her mom. I mean, I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's your mom. And it was nice to see that they have a good relationship with everything that Angela has shared with us so far this season. So it was good to see that they were able to film together.
Yeah. And so let me we'll go down to when Drew's mom actually came to her house.
Yeah, now this thing was
it was powerful. It was a lot because when you're in the midst of the jungle, I will say this, you don't realize what's going on. Sometimes it does take an outside person to say the kids are being impacted, right? And I'm gonna give it to Drew's mom. Shout out to Drew's mom. I think the judge did make a huge mistake. Why would you say that he's gonna stay in the basement and then like the kids know daddy's in the basement all the time, like, and daddy can't come up from the basement.
Hello.
Like, so, but yet you saying the kids can't know about this divorce. That kids aren't stupid. So mommy and daddy are not in the whole house together. Daddy stuck to the basement. There's weekends mommy leaves. Well, she leaves every weekend except one weekend out the month.
I ain't never heard of such a jacked up schedule in my life.
It's ridiculous. And then when mommy leaves, daddy can roam around the whole house. This is so stupid. So shout out to Drew's mom. She is right. The judge made a huge mistake. It's stupid. And so, I feel like the kids should have had the kids in counseling, and about 2 to 3 to 4 days later, the kids should have known mommy and daddy is getting a divorce.
Yes.
And as a result, daddy's going to be in the basement. Then we're going to have these weekends where we do this, where we do that. I'll be gone, and then daddy will hang out with y'all throughout the whole house. And it's just a mess. It's so incredibly sad. And when Drew's mother told her, Drew really didn't know, and she just broke down. And the chef was in the kitchen cooking. God bless shout out to the chef. Because the chef came in there to comfort mom. Okay.
Why you got me cutting up?
Who's the whole food? She's a whole fool. But the chef did come over there and was rubbing her back. And the mom was like, I didn't realize this was going. It was bad. And then, Drew came back in to comfort the mom. It was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But I will shout out to mom, because the judge, in my opinion, I'm agree with mom on this. He messed up, or she, or whoever it was, right? Yeah. And she said the court made a dumb decision, and I agree with that. And she talked about grandma said the kids is bad.
Look, when grandma can get out of control, they out of pocket.
Out of control. She said, I can handle kids, and they not even listening to me. She said, I'm yelling.
And grandma don't yell, okay?
And Drew broke down. Like, yo, that was a real scene. Shout out to that scene, right? And then we'll take it over to the last scene. Porsha and Shamea meet up for lunch. That scene was so sad and tragic.
Oh my God.
Dramatic. Listen, I had to get a triangle, because I had to do what's a shout out to what's the name?
Candace.
Candace. Come on, Candace. I had to make me a triangle and dab the corner of my eyes.
Girl.
It was sad.
It was sad.
Shamea sat there and she was breaking it down.
Pour her heart out.
Yeah, she poured her heart out and was speaking. She was spitting the facts. She was spitting the facts. And then she said, she said, and then when she told Porsha, am I boring you? So Porsha thought she had that reality thing down pat. In the meantime, the whole time Shamea was being a friend, Shamea was taking notes.
All the time.
Shamea sat at that lunch like a G. She was like, am I boring you? She said, I'm trying to tell you my feelings and you ignoring them. And Porsha was, fixing the I'm nervous. It's nervous. This is hurtful. I'm hurt. Child, she broke that thing down so bad that Porsha had to get up and go to the bathroom.
She walked out.
Shamea told her, look, why can't we be like we are off the show? Shamea sat there and kept a straight face. She said, you said the only way you're going to do that is if they pay you more money. Porsha couldn't believe she was telling a good business on that.
Oh, the business.
She's like, oh, that's what you're doing for the cameras? And Shamea was sitting there like,
Shamea, stop, please. Please stop.
He's like, I can't take this. I can't do it. Shamea, please. You know why she didn't wild out on Shamea? Because she knows Shamea would have sat there and bust out all the good business.
Call her out. Put her foot on her neck.
Put on that. Because Porsha know how to get loud and get down with the get down. She ain't played with Shamea. Because she knew Shamea would have let all the good business out. That's why she was like, Shamea, please.
Oh.
She's like, I want to do this. She came back and said, can you bag this up? Bag this up. Oh, you don't want to finish your lunch? And she said, well, you stop eating. You stop talking. Then in the end, she said, come on, give me your hand, Shamea.
Well, come on, bosom buddies. We got to bump bosoms together.
Hey, you give me your hand, Shamea. I don't want to do this, Shamea. We got to fix this. I'm your sister. I love you. Then she got up and she hugged Shamea. Please don't do this.
Let's address this Drew and Mama situation. Then I'll come to Porsha and Shamea. So
It did look good.
It really, really did. When they brought their wings or that chicken or whatever it was, that sauce, because Dima, I'm a saucy type of person. I love my sauces, okay?
I do too.
I was like, ooh, looking to work the Wendy.
Wow. Child, the sources be getting to me, but yes, I do love my sources, funny. But yes.
Drew and her mom, I thought that was one of the most authentic scenes that I've seen all season. I think once Drew's mother opened up to her about the children, I do think that it was very real the way Drew reacted. And for me, that is what made me really realize how traumatizing this divorce is on Drew. That you haven't even noticed the change in your own babies. When you can't notice the change in your own babies, you're not tapped in, you're not present, you're not where you need to be in the moment. And that is why the children have, acted the way they have. I agree with you as well with the mom and the judge making the bad decision. Children are not stupid. Drew does not have babies. She has children that are of the age where they cognitively know that mommy and daddy are not sleeping in the same room. Mommy and daddy cannot be on the same floor with one another. Mommy has to leave when daddy's here. Daddy has to go to the basement when mommy. These kids are not stupid and they know exactly what's going on. And as I said yesterday, no child wants to see their family not together. And I can't even imagine what it's like to have your family in the same household and still cannot be together. It's just more taxing on the children. I really appreciate that Drew's mom is stepping up and helping her take care of these kids. She doesn't have to do that. Her mom has raised her kids. She done what she can do. But the fact that she's still here trying to help Drew, to move past this, shout out to her mom. And Drew, more therapy is needed. More therapy is needed because you got to deal with your emotions so that you can deal with the baby's emotions. You got to tap into the babies because the babies can't get lost in this sauce. This is where tragedy kind of strikes. This for children, these are when they start making those real life decisions of what path of life am I going to go down? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to be the person who's going to be petty and do the stupid stuff and fight and argue and all of this? Or am I going to mature and handle this with grace and dignity? And I feel like that, Drew needs to get herself together so that she can handle this with grace and dignity so that her children can have an example to look upon. Because Ralph is not the example at all. For you to sit at a dinner table and talk about your children's mother the way that you did and air their business out the way that you did, it's so disrespectful. It's so wrong, and Drew is not innocent either. But as a man, one thing that bothers me, Diva, is when a man want to bump his chest and scream and holler he a man, but then you go out here and act like a little girl.
That part.
Get it together, Ralph. Do better, because when you do better, you know better.
That part.
So those are my thoughts on Drew and her mom. Very emotional scene, but I love that they ended it with light and love. Mom said, I'm here to support you. Whatever I can do, I'm here to do. And mama said the kids was already out of control because the couch is apparently a trampoline. At mama house, you would never be jumping on the living room couch, okay? Y'all need to go out in the backyard and play on the ground. But that's that on that. Porsha and this is really sad. This is really sad. I do not feel that Porsha went into this dinner with the spirit of resolve. I feel like Porsha came to show up to do a scene and to go about her business. And that was very evident to me when Miss Diane called and you said that she was making faces. That work there was just like, oh, okay, so you already ain't here to make no resolve. Because it wasn't necessary for you to announce that at all.
At all.
It didn't need to be. As Shamea opened up and shared, as Porsha asked her to come and do, the fact that you sat and dismissed everything that Shamea sat in your face and said, now I understand why Shamea does not communicate her issues to you, because you don't listen. That's probably what happened with Miss Diane and Shamea's mama. Miss Diane probably did some trifling stuff, as it seems Williams girls do.
Oh my God.
And Shamea mama wasn't having it. And they fell all the way out.
All the way out. Shamea said she ain't even gonna talk about it.
She ain't even gonna. I mean, when you don't want to talk about it, you know that it's some stuff that happened. You know some stuff that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You think Miss Diane said she was gonna sleep with Shamea mama husband?
And you ain't gonna get me to talk about Miss Diane tonight. You ain't doing that. I ain't doing that with you.
Oh my God.
I'm about to do that with you. Not
Hosea Williams wasn't out here being this ratchet. Not Uncle Hosea Williams, not the girls of Hosea Williams. Really? But I thought it was just very dismissive of Porsha. I thought it was very petty and immature of Porsha. You talk about this growth all season that you dealing with Drew, and you're growing and all of this. Where is the growth in this relationship? Where is the accepting the accountability for the parts that you may have played in this relationship? And here's another thing, Diva. We're all human. Something that may bother me may not bother you, and something that bothers you may not bother me. But if I do it to you, I have to acknowledge that this bothered you and I did it, and you have to apologize for it, mean it, and move forward and decide whether or not this is a relationship that we want to move forward in the direction that we are. Because sometimes people violate people. Not can sit on here and do YouTube every day if you do something that really just violates me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
It changes the dynamic of our relationship. And the fact that Porsha is not even willing to try to see what Shamea is saying, it's completely changing the dynamic of their relationship to the fact that they can no longer be besties. We can't have that closeness that we once have. It is a witness. We seen it last night or the Sunday night. Shamea told us that Porsha is not giving us the real version of herself that she sees off camera. Why you coming up here and filming with your bestie, quote unquote, but you're going to give her the fakeness that you give everybody else? We have to put our foot on Porsha's neck. It's time. And Shamea, you got to stand in that footing too. You got to put your heel on her neck. If you really want resolve out of this, you got to hold Porsha accountable to the things that she did or stop being friends with her, period, point blank.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen, if we're going to call it like it is, let's call it. Because this is not a mutual supportive friendship. I don't see it. As Shamea said last week, anytime that these girls say something about you, I defend you. I have not seen that from Porsha.
No, we haven't. They showed us scene after scene after scene.
When I'm telling you my problem, you tell me to stop. You get up and leave the table. You tell the waiter to collect our food. You didn't even ask me if I was ready to go. You just said, can we get our food to go? We're done talking. You cut off the conversation, as Shamea said. You told me to stop. And then at the end want to act like, but like you said, she had to get herself together because she knows Shamea would completely aired her out. Because like she said, she know the real you. She know that you'll sleep with somebody's husband, as you did. Allegedly.
Well, that's it.
That's it. That's all.
That's all for season 16, episode 11. We got about 4 more to go because Cynthia said it was 16, right? Yes, so we probably got 4 more to go because am I counting up right? 5 more to go. And listen, and what's the name is about the what's the name is about to enter the building? Who what's the name again? Miss Phaedra Parks is about to enter the building, okay? She's about to come through. Overall, I thought it was a great episode. It had its highs, it had its lows, it had its realness in there, and it had a lot of realness. The driving with Kelly and the daughter, real. The conversation with Drew and her mother, real. The conversation with Porsha and Shamea, real.
Yes.
Real. So on that note, you always like us to rate the episode at the end. I'm giving it a 9.
Okay, yes. Listen, everybody, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. We rate the episodes from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let us know in the comment section your rating for episode 11. Let be honest, okay? Leave that down in the comment section. I'm giving this episode a 9. I truly enjoyed this. I read in the comment section, I talked to a few people, they said this episode was boring. This was not a boring episode to me. I really paid attention, and there was a lot of information in this episode and a lot of things that happened, in my opinion, that's going to help us connect all of the pieces to prepare for the reunion. Speaking of the reunion, did you see the reunion seating chart drop this week?
For RHOA?
For RHOA.
I did not.
Okay. Give us a second.
Yeah, give us a second. I'm about to be shocked. And yo, they better not be playing with this seating.
Yes. Listen, y'all, we are live on both channels. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. If you're not a subscriber to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva, make sure you go over there and subscribe, and make sure you subscribe to Royaire's World as well. Where did I see that seating chart? Oh man, I may have to. We may have to do it the next time we're together.
Okay.
I had to find it because I don't. But yes, I did see that, and I can't remember who was sitting at the top. Seating. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to come back. We'll deal with that next week. But let's see. Kiki gave this episode a 2. Lisa gave it a 9. Monique gave it an 8. K Mocha gave it a 7.5. Ocean Dreaming gave it a 7. Ms. Amy gave it a 7. Let's see. Kenya sitting next to Andy. No, Kenya was not on this seating chart that I was looking at. So maybe this was an unofficial seating chart, but it looked like it was. I'll send it to you. I'll text it to you when I see it. But
okay.
Yeah, Stephanie is giving this episode a 1. But I did not see this episode as boring. Katrina gave it a 6. Thank you, Katrina. I think I did not see this episode as boring because I don't look for the drama and the mess and all of this anymore.
Right.
I really look for an authentic storyline. I look to see who's telling the truth. I look to see who's giving a real accountants of what's going on in their life and what's going on the show. And so this episode gave so much formative information on each of the ladies. You know, it really showed us a glimpse of Charles and Angela's relationship, how things are, you know, with them. As I said, I really just believe that Charles is just a no-nonsense type of person. He not with all the fake and phonery, you know, and he came and did what he did and went on about his business. You know, he has a basketball team he coaches. He ain't got time for all this petty mess. That's why he said, if Porsha want to come for me, tell her to line it up because I'm ready. He said, I shoot shots all day, every day. What's good?
Boom. Listen, I loved it too. I'm loving it because I feel like the show is not toxic.
Yes.
Like the past season's been
not dark. Yes.
It's not dark. There you go. It's not dark. It's not this fight about colorism. Who's light, who's dark, who's this, who's that. I'm really loving it. So I feel like we're getting closer back to the original RHOA, how authentic it was, or at least how authentic it seemed to be.
Yes.
So I feel like we're closer to that, and I'm loving it. I love the newbies. Unlike, you know, the New York reboot was trash to me.
Horrible,
tragic. But this little reboot and who they brought in, I'm loving it.
Yeah,
I'm loving it a lot. Yeah, so we're gonna see how this thing pans out. But shout out to Shamea. She held it down at that luncheon.
She did her thing. Listen, she said, "I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, baby." You thought you were coming to film with a friend? No, you're filming with a castmate, baby. This is a castmate. You know, and I want to give a shout out. It was giving square up, ho.
Woo! And honey, Porsha had to surrender. She said, "Can." Yeah, I loved it, Royaire. I loved it.
Shout out to Cynthia. I have been listening to other few podcasts that watch the Housewives, and the people are saying that Cynthia is redefining the friendship role for formal housewives, that they are now looking at bringing formal housewives back and entering them as friends into the show. So shout out to Cynthia for opening the door for the girls, okay? Help the girls get a check. Period.
The girls get a check. But you know what, though? They would have to humble themselves.
They do, yes.
And see, that I think is the secret sauce with Cynthia.
Yes.
He's not coming through the door like, I started this, I that. She's humble.
She mic up and say, where you want me to be?
Follow the Lake Belly. Holler to the belly Q or whatever she called it.
50 Cent. Go ahead, girl.
50 Cent. Bravo. Listen, and if they was giving out awards, she would definitely win the Bravo Friend of the Year award.
Yes. And you know, I think it's so funny. It's kind of full circle because if you remember, Cynthia came on her first season with the friendship contract. And God. Now here she is as the friendship of the cast. I think it's just such a full circle moment for her. So yes, that's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it for me. I don't have nothing else. You got anything?
No, but you know what, guys? Thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit the like button on both our channels. We appreciate y'all. We will be here next Monday with the episode 12. You know, we do our recaps. We love y'all. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber on Royaire's channel, go over there today and subscribe, people.
Yes. And go over to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. We headed to 50,000 and on up to 100. So make sure you subscribe over there too. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Good night, y'all. Bye, y'all.